Welcome to Case Management and Social Work Magazine Show. I'm your host, Linda Delbosky. I have a special guest today. You've seen her in many locations from corners of Illinois, mainly the Chicagoland area, though. She is brilliant, very skillful, compassionate, and very loving. And definitely every time I sit down with her, I always enjoy my talk. And Katie Mohan, thank you for joining us today.
Oh, thank you, Linda. It is so my pleasure to be here. And hello to everyone out there who is watching. Thank you for joining us.
Yes. So tell us a little bit more about your role at Transitions Hospice.
So, Transitions Hospice is a fairly large hospice organization. We've been around since 2007, and we are currently able to serve about 38 counties in northern Illinois. We recently just expanded all the way south to Springfield and all the way west to Rock Island. So we cover the entire northern section of Illinois. We've also expanded out to the Indianapolis area, and coming in about August, we will be able to now serve the Northwest Indiana area. My role within Transitions is to help out not only in some of our marketing, but also in our continuing education programming, in our veterans benefits resources, as well as helping to explain to families and potential utilizers alike about the differences between hospice and palliative care. And really, my favorite part of the job is talking about how hospice is a gift with a really bad wrapping job.
Healthcare industry, hospice was generally looked at as a part of dying. Patients are not always dying when you see them, right?
Exactly. You know, the qualification for someone to have hospice is simply that they have a diagnosis that without aggressive treatment is going to be life limiting within 6 months or less. That could be a lot of things. And the reality is that no one has a crystal ball. There's a reason why they say that we practice medicine, because none of us are clairvoyant. And so we have a number of individuals who may be on hospice for more than 6 months. The problem is that so many families and patients themselves, and I think even healthcare professionals alike, hear the term hospice and just think death. All this means is that my client or my loved one or I am going to be dead sooner than later. And the reality is that hospice is more about a service. And it's a benefit really that has been earned by living a nice, long, and healthy life. And it allows for people to have that compassionate care in whatever setting they prefer, whether it's in the home, whether it's in a community or a facility or even an inpatient unit, that allows them to live out the rest of their life with the care and compassion that they deserve, and being able to have control of how they live the rest of their life rather than being at the mercy of the medical system.
Going to the patient's home and staying there, how many hours a day? I mean, what does that look like?
So our average visit for routine care, you're looking at anywhere from an hour to 2 hours for or just a routine standard visit. So our nurse is going to come out. They're going to, check over our entire patient. They're going to make sure that there's no sores, no skin tears, no abrasions. They're going to assist with any personal care that might be necessary. They're also going to go over symptom management. So, and that's just your regular visit. CNAs are going to come out to assist with personal care as well. And that CNA visit can again be anywhere from, an hour to 2 hours, just depending on the need. If someone is really difficult to transfer, we're going to take our time when that individual is going to have a shower. We're going to really make sure that we're doing nothing to harm them, keeping them as comfortable as possible, and making sure that it's as pleasant an experience for them. Because it can be a little scary when you're unsure on your feet or you require multiple people to assist you to get up and down and move around. I liken it to saying if anybody's ever stood up and they've felt their feet fall asleep, You're not too steady on your feet at that point. You're grabbing onto things. Imagine if that's your perpetual state. There's a lot of fear that goes around in that, and we want to make people as comfortable as possible. Now, that's just a routine visit, and that routine visit can be, a couple times a week. Obviously we're not living there. But we do things a little bit differently at Transitions, where we have an understanding that, sometimes you need more care than just a couple visits a week. So our promise is that anytime any client needs us, you call us and we come out. We're not going to triage what's going on over the phone. We're not going to simply tell your loved one, or your caregiver, oh, well, go ahead and just give them a little bit more of their pain medication and call us in an hour. We're going to say, okay, give them this dose of pain medication and we're on our way. And we're going to physically come out and be with our patients and our families until that symptom is managed. Because while we do trust that our families, and especially when patients are in facilities, that they are able to go ahead and manage their care, we also want to make sure that we see our patients and look them in the eye and know that they're okay, know that their symptoms are managed, and that they're back to their baseline level of comfort.
Mhm. So one of the things that people always would like to know is, how is payment? Is it private pay? Should we not talk about that?
We absolutely talk about payment, because
Okay.
that's the number one question that people are shocked at finding out. Hospice is that one benefit that almost every insurance provider out there got right. They understand that end of life care is so vitally important that they make sure it's covered. So Medicare covers hospice at 100%. No copays, nothing that they have to worry about out of pocket. It is totally entirely covered. Same thing with Medicaid. It's incredible just to see what's out there, to recognize that people at the end of life shouldn't have a financial burden on top of their care. Most insurance companies as well also offer almost 100% full coverage for benefits. Most of the time when an individual is on private insurance or commercial insurance, they're usually there because they are a younger individual who has a life-limiting illness. Oftentimes we see it as cancer. At that point, they've already paid their deductible, they've paid through everything. There's usually going to be no extra cost. And finally, veterans benefits cover hospice care at 100% as well. So there usually is not a financial implication for hospice for any patient.
So what is the one thing you would like to tell a caregiver or loved ones about hospice and Transitions Hospice?
I think we like to remind people that while hospice does not prolong life or hasten death, we do find that individuals who are on hospice tend to have much more enriching experiences for the remainder of their life than individuals who forego hospice care when an individual knows that they can receive it. The thing that we hear most often from family members is that they wish that they had gotten on hospice sooner and that they had utilized that service earlier in the treatment process, because they feel that they would have been able to have had more time with their loved one, where that loved one was comfortable and was able to enjoy a better quality of life rather than simply just extending the quantity of life.
Mhm.
I mean, I think that the difficult conversation that especially most caregivers have is that they know what they want for their loved one, but they don't always know what their loved one wants, which is why it's so important that we encourage those conversations with our loved ones about what their wishes are. And the question is not, how do you want to die? The question is, how do you want to live the rest of your life? So if you only had 30 more days to live, what would be really important to you? And that's the question that we all need to ask ourselves. I was asked that question a number of years ago. And for me, it was really important that I was able to be with my family, and I was able to tell my family how much I loved them and spend as much time as I possibly could with them. For other people, it's important that they leave their legacy and that they share stories of their history with people. So it's our job to do everything that we can to ensure that our patients and our clients and our families can make sure to go ahead and have those experiences while they still have the time to do it.
Wow, that's amazing. Conversations are so important. You know, it's very hard to have them, but they're so needed. Appreciate you speaking with us today. And thank you for educating us on the importance of hospice. So, if someone would like to get a hold of Transitions Hospice, how can they get a hold of them?
The best way to get a hold of us is to call us directly.
Mhm.
You can reach us at 847
Mhm.
515 1505, or you can go ahead on the web and find us at www.transitionshospice.com.
Wonderful. Thank you, Katie. Have a great day.
You too, Linda. Thank you.